The smell of burnt coffee still lingered in the office kitchen, long after everyone had gone home. It was the kind of smell that stuck around quiet, unnoticed, and a little bitter. Just like the man who stood alone at the sink, sleeves rolled up, scrubbing dishes no one else cared about. No one knew his story. No one cared to ask. To them, he was just the new cleaning guy. But by the end of that week, the most powerful person in the building would realize that the man he barely noticed was the one who would change his life forever. Before we begin, take a moment to support stories that remind us what truly matters. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments with Corner of Kind Choices. Your support helps spread kindness further than you can imagine. Michael Reyes arrived at the office before sunrise on his first day. The building was massive glass walls, polished floors, and a silence that made every footstep echo. He adjusted his worn jacket, took a deep breath, and stepped inside. At 38 years old, Michael had lived a life that didn't go according to plan. Once a passionate cook in a small neighborhood restaurant, he had dreamed of opening his own place one day. But life had other ideas. After his wife passed away unexpectedly, everything changed. Now, it was just him and his 8-year-old daughter, Sophia. Every decision he made was for her. The cleaning job wasn't glamorous. It didn't pay much. But it was steady. And steady meant food on the table, school supplies, and a small apartment where Sophia could still laugh. Just keep going, Michael would whisper to himself. One step at a time. Upstairs, on the top floor, lived a completely different world. Jonathan Blake, CEO of a fast-growing tech company, was known for his sharp mind and even sharper expectations. At 47, he had built a business empire from the ground up. People admired him. Some feared him. But very few knew him. Jonathan didn't believe in slowing down. His days were filled with meetings, calls, and decisions that affected hundreds of employees. His nights were often spent alone in his office, staring at screens, chasing numbers that never seemed to be enough. He had everything money could buy. Except peace. Their worlds weren't supposed to collide. But kindness has a way of crossing lines no one expects. Michael worked quietly. He cleaned desks, emptied trash bins, and wiped down surfaces long after the employees had gone home. He didn't complain. He didn't ask for attention. But he noticed things. Like how the office kitchen was always a mess by the end of the day. Like how half-eaten meals were thrown away. Like how people rushed through life without stopping for even a moment. One evening, as he stood in the kitchen cleaning up yet another pile of dirty dishes, he paused. There were fresh ingredients left behind: vegetables, bread, even a carton of eggs. Perfectly good food. Wasted. Michael stared at them for a moment, then smiled slightly. The next night, he brought something with him. A small bag of spices. Nothing fancy. Just the basics. After finishing his cleaning duties, he stepped into the kitchen again. This time, instead of just cleaning, he started cooking. At first, it was simple. A warm vegetable soup made from leftover ingredients. The smell slowly filled the room, rich, comforting, and alive. It reminded him of who he used to be. Who he still was. The next morning, something unusual happened. Employees walking into the office paused. "What smells so good?" someone asked. On the counter sat a large pot with a simple handwritten note. "Free. Made with care. Have a good day." People hesitated at first. Then someone grabbed a bowl. Then another. Within minutes, the pot was empty. For the first time in a long while, people in the office were smiling, together. Michael didn't wait for thanks. By the time the office filled up, he was already gone, pushing his cleaning cart down a quiet hallway. The next day, he did it again. And the next. Each time, something different. Pasta. Rice dishes. Warm breakfasts. Nothing expensive. But everything made with heart. Slowly, something began to change in the building. People started talking to each other more. Strangers shared tables. Stressful mornings felt just a little lighter. And then one day, Jonathan noticed. He had come in early after a sleepless night. His mind was heavy, his patience thin. As he walked past the kitchen, he stopped. The smell caught him off guard. Warm. Familiar. Real. He stepped inside. A few employees were already there, quietly eating. "What is this?" Jonathan asked, confused. "No idea," one of them replied. "But it's the best part of my day." Jonathan frowned slightly but grabbed a bowl. He took one bite. And froze. It wasn't just the taste. It was the feeling. Something about it broke through the noise in his head. For a moment, he wasn't thinking about deadlines or profits. He was just present. "Who made this?" he asked. No one knew. That answer didn't sit well with him. Later that evening, Jonathan stayed late on purpose. He waited. And eventually, he saw him. Michael walked into the kitchen quietly, carrying his small bag of spices. Jonathan watched as he moved with calm focus, turning leftovers into something meaningful. "You're the one," Jonathan finally said. Michael turned, surprised. "Oh yes, sir. I'm sorry if I wasn't supposed to." "Why are you doing this?" Jonathan interrupted. Michael paused, then shrugged gently. "Because it feels wrong to throw away something that could help someone," he said. "And, people seem to need it." Jonathan studied him. "You don't get paid for this." Michael smiled slightly. "Not everything valuable comes with a paycheck." That sentence stayed with Jonathan long after the conversation ended. Over the next few days, he kept watching. Not just Michael but the people around him. The way employees laughed more. The way mornings felt lighter. The way something so small had created something so powerful. Jonathan started asking himself questions he had avoided for years. When was the last time I did something just to help someone? When was the last time I felt human? One evening, Jonathan invited Michael to sit down. "I want to understand," he said honestly. Michael sat, a little unsure. "I used to cook full-time," he explained. "It wasn't a big place, but it mattered to people. After my wife passed, I had to take whatever job I could. But cooking, it's still a part of me." Jonathan nodded slowly. "And your daughter?" he asked. Michael's face softened. "She's the reason I keep going." There was a silence. Then Jonathan spoke again, quieter this time. "I've spent years building something big," he said. "But somewhere along the way, I forgot why." Michael didn't respond right away. Then he said something simple. "Maybe it's not too late to remember." That night, Jonathan went home earlier than usual. He sat in his empty house and thought not about business, but about life. About connection. About purpose. And the next morning, he made a decision. Jonathan called a company-wide meeting. Employees gathered, curious. "I've been focused on growth, numbers, and success," he began. "But I've realized something important. None of that matters if we forget how to care." He paused. "Starting today, we're creating a program to support our employees not just professionally, but personally. And we're turning that kitchen into a space for connection." Then he looked at Michael. "And I'd like the person who reminded me of this, to lead it." The room fell silent. Michael blinked, stunned. "Sir, I'm just a cleaner." Jonathan shook his head. "No," he said. "You're someone who made this place better, without being asked." Weeks later, The office felt different. Not just successful, but alive. Michael still worked hard. But now, he had a kitchen of his own inside the company, a place where people came not just to eat, but to feel seen. And Jonathan? He changed too. He listened more. He showed up more. He remembered what it meant to be kind. Because sometimes, the people we overlook, are the ones who remind us who we're meant to be. So wherever you are today, remember this. Kindness doesn't need permission. It doesn't need recognition. It doesn't need a title. It just needs a willing heart. Because one small act, like a simple meal made with care, can change more than a moment. It can change a life. And maybe, even your own.